Welcome, everyone. Excited that you're joining us here today as we share about TriGLP and IGNYT, a new technology on the market that is really disrupting the peptide industry, the GLP industry, because it changes everything we thought we knew about these things. And so I'm excited to be able to share that with you today. Um, this technology rolled out this just past November with TriGLP. These drops here, they look like this. Whoops, my screen's blurred. There we go. And when I first got introduced to these drops, honestly, I just wasn't interested. I know that sounds bad. Doing a presentation, I was not interested in these drops because I tried so many things. I have been in the nutritional realm for practicing now for 28 years in the realm of natural medicine, functional medicine. I'm an internist, clinical nutritionist, chiropractic physician. And so I've seen so many things, right, come and go, so much hype about things that could help metabolically and help people lose weight and help people's blood sugar. And rarely did I see anything that worked, even a little bit. So I was, needless to say, I was skeptical, right? Many of you probably were skeptical when you heard about these drops. And so a good friend of mine, though, was having some success with them. And I'm like, okay, I'll try the drops. So I ended up trying the drops over Christmas, over the holidays. Not a good time to try a metabolic supplement, by the way, but I did. And guess what? I actually lost weight. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's never happened before. And it got my attention to look a little closer. So I did dive into, what are these drops? What's in them? What do they do? Checking out the science, the company. And the more I looked into it, the more excited I got. So started using it with me and my family and a handful of friends and close patients, and just kept seeing more and more benefits. And then I really haven't been able to quit talking about them since. They have been such an amazing addition to the things that I can utilize to help people live a better, healthier life in so many different ways. And so we're going to dive into some of that here. Um, we hear about GLP-1 a lot. I know we have people from all over the world on today, but here in the United States, we have commercials about drugs, and I wish we didn't have these commercials all the time. But we have commercials, and like every other commercial is about a GLP-1 medication here. And to the point where we hear GLP-1 and most people think of a shot, right? We think that GLP-1, it's a shot. No, it's not a shot. The GLP-1 is a hormone our body already produces. It's produced in the gut. It's a very important peptide hormone that has a lot of amazing benefits. And so the GLP-1 is actually naturally produced in our body. It regulates hunger in the brain. It improves satiety. It quiets that food noise, that tells you need to go snack. You need to eat something and you're really not even hungry, but you feel like you got to go snack. It reduces blood sugar, improves insulin sensitivity in the body, improves insulin resistance, promotes sustainable weight loss. So many benefits of the GLP-1 that our body produces, the metabolism and appetite pathway. Its primary focus is brain, pancreas, metabolism. It's an amazing hormone, amazing pathway in our body. So, what's the GLP-1 medication do? The injection mimics the GLP-1 hormone. Okay. It drives the same receptor sites in the body that this natural hormone does, right? And it drives it very aggressively. So now we're hearing a lot about side effects of these medications. Maybe some of you have tried these medications or are trying these medications. And some of you, I'm sure, if you have experienced some side effects with these medications. Some of them can be quite bad. What I'm most worrisome about with these medications is the fact that there's a significant amount of the weight loss is muscle. Okay. Up to 39% has been reported of the weight lost is muscle loss. So, what's the most metabolically important and active tissue in our body? It's muscle, right? So let's say we dropped 50 pounds with the shot. Okay. We'd feel pretty good about dropping 50 pounds, but guess what? Up to 20 pounds of that could have been muscle. So we dropped that 50 pounds of muscle with the shots. Are we metabolically healthier than when we started? No, right? We're not healthier. We may have lost 50 pounds, but we lost 20 pounds of the most important metabolic tissue in our body, our muscle. So what happens when we come off the shots? Many people, guess what? Especially, unfortunately, many practitioners aren't giving guidance on how to uh, do a healthy lifestyle when you're doing shots, aren't guiding on the importance of protein, guiding on the importance of exercise with the shots, right? So they can be very effective for weight loss. Without doing these important things. But guess what? If you come off the shots and we're not making those important changes, of course, we're going to gain that weight back, right? One of the reasons is because when we any hormone in the body, if we replace that hormone, right, or we mimic that hormone, what does the body do now with that hormone? It senses it doesn't need to make it anymore, right? Does that make sense? So the body's like, oh, I'm not needed here anymore. I don't need to make this GLP-1. I don't need to make this GLP-2. Right. And so now the body's not used to making these hormones. We go off the shots, which are driving and mimicking these hormones. And guess what these systems do? They're super slow. So that even further accelerates the gain, the weight gain back on, which of course, did we gain that 20 or that 39% muscle? Did we gain that back? No, of course not, right? We gained it back in fat, probably, most likely. So now we're in worse shape than when we started. And the answer for some people is to go back on the shot again. Well, guess what? We now lost another 50 pounds, possibly, and another 20 pounds of muscle. So now we're in bad shape, right? We've lost 40 pounds of muscle potentially. And I've seen this in my practice, and it's very sad because it happens very, very often. So now I'm not against the shots. This shot was made for diabetics and it can have some important uses, but it's being mass marketed for weight loss. And in my opinion, we've got better options, and we're going to talk about one of those better options, which is the Ignite and the TriGLP. So not only does the GLP drops support, now it's not mimicking, right? That's the difference. The drops are not mimicking and forcing and driving these receptors in the body. They're supporting this system that your body already has, like I mentioned. So not only the GLP-1, but the GLP-2 is supported by these drops. So the GLP-2 is important for gut repair and absorption. Its primary focus is in the gut and absorption of nutrients and recovery, helps repair and strengthen that intestinal barrier, reduces what they call leaky gut. I don't know if you've heard that term before. It helps to heal the gut, reduces that inflammation in the gut lining, enhances nutrient absorption. This is one of the things I'm excited to see in my practice, people's nutrition levels coming up, even without having to take more vitamins and minerals. Why is that? Well, because they're absorbing things so much better, because their gut is healthier, right? And so that's something I was not expecting when I started these drops, was to see all the amazing gut benefits that these provide. And so that's been exciting to see. So the GLP-2 pathway is also, again, natural pathway in our body, right? Supported by this technology. But TriGLP, tri meaning three, right? We're supporting three pathways, which is also the GIP pathway, oftentimes called the nutrient and energy pathway, supports energy, muscle, and nutrient handling. So it's important for efficient nutrient utilization. Tells the body, hey, we don't need to store all this incoming food. We don't need to store it. We could use it for energy, right? And it also improves, kind of like GLP-1, insulin sensitivity in the body. It improves glucose regulation, lowers A1C, lowers fasting insulin. It's much needed, especially in today's society. Enhances fat burning, metabolic efficiency, supports sustained energy and mental clarity, muscle preservation, especially during weight loss. So these are the three pathways when we see TriGLP, three GLP pathways supported in one natural supplement. The most popular drug on the market only targets one of those pathways. The next most popular one on the market only supports two GLP pathways, and we're supporting three with our drops. So some of the key clinical, I can't talk today, clinical benefits are 7% up to 7% BMI reduction just 6 weeks, 10% body fat decrease with zero muscle loss, 100% fat targeted weight loss. I think we need to highlight that 100% fat targeted. So we're not talking about 10% muscle loss with that weight we lost. So let's say we lost 50 pounds using the drops. We lost 50 pounds of fat, not 20 pounds of muscle and 30 pounds of fat. So big difference there. Blood sugar improvements, like we talked about, sustained energy without the crashes, systemic reduction in inflammation throughout the body. That's another thing I'm super excited to see is so many different health conditions that are related to inflammation are responding so well to these drops. Improved digestion, and again, improved nutrient absorption. Um, but not only in the metabolic space, there's research that extends way beyond that. There are over 13 allowable FDA claims by this technology, which is just unheard of in this space, that the FDA allows a natural supplement to make health claims. Usually they don't want natural supplements to make health claims, but we can because we have tons and tons of research. So, antioxidant gene activation that upregulates 16 protective genes. It downregulates 9 oxidative stress genes. Oxidative stress is what we're all bombarded with on a daily basis that harms our DNA, that harms our cells, that causes and enhances and speeds up the aging process. And this is fighting against that in a powerful way. We mentioned, nutrient absorption. They've had a study on iron deficiency anemia, and these patients experienced a 140% increase in ferritin, which is our iron storage in our body, by the way. Ferritin is 140% increase, and there's no iron in here. So why did they increase their iron? Well, again, their gut improved, right? They started absorbing their nutrients more efficiently. Increased hemoglobin, which is the blood marker, right, by 14%. Muscle preservation. It enhances not only maintaining lean muscle tissue, especially as we lose weight, but people are always also gaining muscle. We use this technology because a large part of that because it suppresses myostatin and activin A. These are proteins that generally suppress muscle growth. They encourage muscle breakdown, and this technology suppresses those proteins, allowing muscle growth more efficiently. It improves skin, nail, and hairs. There's research that's showing up to 34% improvement in these areas reported by females. Anti-inflammatory benefits, reductions in inflammatory markers in the blood called C-reactive protein, interleukin 5, interleukin 8. And this is just a little bit of the research. If you've not checked out any of the research, make sure you get with the person who invited you and check out their website. I love Origin's website because it lists all of this information, all the studies you can click on, you can read it. If you have trouble sleeping tonight, go check that out. Read all these detailed research articles because it should take you a long time to read them. But so much science, and just the fact that the FDA allows 13 medical or function claims tells you that there's a lot of research, and that's super exciting. So why is TriGLP and IGNYT different? Well, we mentioned the real science, but over 10 years of research has gone into this and over 50 million has been spent and invested in this research. We have a patented bioavailable technology with 98% absorption. We have, I think, up to 10, I believe, published studies now. We mentioned 13 FDA claims, pharmaceutical-grade manufacturing standards, no medical gatekeeper. You don't have to go to your physician to get a prescription to get started on this at a quarter or less of the cost of many of these injections. Look how simple the ingredients are. We just have the bioactive salmon peptides, from Norway, by the way. We have organic lemon peel extract. We have organic ginger root extract and water. That's the only ingredients. Nothing hidden, nothing we can't pronounce, no chemicals, no heavy metals, no, binders, alcohol, anything that are often added to tinctures and things like that. And we're launching the new product called IGNYT, the same base technology, which is the bioactive peptides from the salmon source. We have that same technology that's in the drops, but in a powdered version that you can shake up and drink. It has, like I mentioned, also just 4 simple ingredients. It has beet powder just for color. It has some stevia for a sweetener, and it has natural cranberry apple flavor, which is our initial one that I've heard kind of tastes more like almost like a mild raspberry lemonade is what I've heard the flavor is kind of like. So we'll see. I haven't got to try it yet. Excited to try it soon. But now we have two different versions. We have the drops and then we have the powder. that can be mixed up and again in a drink. When we talk about origin pure, this is important, I think, to spend a little time on. The ingredients are meticulously sourced. We select each element to exact specifications from the pristine waters where our fish thrive through our gentle processing methods to the final nutrient-rich powder. This isn't just organic, this is origin pure, a new standard of purity that goes beyond conventional categories. And a lot of times people will claim their product is organic. When you really dig in and look, it's not really organic. And so organic used to mean a lot, right? You used to be able to hang your hat on if something said it was organic, it was. Now it's kind of wishy-washy, right? It's kind of muddied. And they can claim organic now and it not necessarily be organic. But beyond organic, we also have all of these certifications, the halal certification and the HACCP and the kosher certification. We don't have pesticides. We don't have heavy metals. We don't have GMOs. We don't have gluten in our product. It's GMP, good manufacturing practice certified as well. And that's important. So I feel really good about being able to offer such a clean, organic product that we don't have to worry about potential side effects from hidden ingredients or other chemicals that could be in there. This is the perfect timing for this product worldwide, but especially here in America. Unfortunately, we lead the way in some of these negative aspects of health. 72% of Americans are either obese or overweight. 1 in 3 have prediabetes. 1 in 8 have diabetes. 70 to 88% of adults have some form of metabolic dysfunction, probably insulin resistance. And we don't know the exact numbers because it's not often tested for, probably not where you're at either. The early markers of insulin resistance, we're starting to get some blood sugar problems, is an elevated fasting insulin, elevated triglycerides. Those are early signs that we're getting into trouble. That happens years, sometimes even decades before the blood sugar actually starts to creep up and the A1C starts to creep up. And now we've actually got significant metabolic dysfunction by the time that happens. And these things are driving all of the major killers across the world: heart disease, cancer, neurodegenerative diseases, which now they're calling, for example, Alzheimer's, they're calling it type 3 diabetes because of its direct link in blood sugar imbalance and insulin resistance. And of course, heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, chronic inflammation, which drives all diseases. This is a perfect time to have something like this that can target these areas and help people and support them, especially in these areas. But not only that, it's the perfect timing for a product like this because people are desperately searching for help. And we have the help that they're looking for right here. 10% of Americans are already taking GLPs, and 35% are currently looking. They're searching. They want what the GLP has to offer, but they're timid to, one, probably inject something synthetic into their body. And most people really don't want to do shots, every week, which who could blame them? So people are looking for this. There's 5 million internet searches in the US alone per month on GLPs, 20 to 30 million searches worldwide per month. So in America, we have 100 million consumers that are seeking GLP advantages at this moment, but they're hesitant to pursue those injectable options. But look at the global drug market size for GLP medications, 130 to 140 billion just last year. Just to get perspective on that, the biggest selling drug, at least here in America, is Lipitor, which is a cholesterol lowering drug, a statin drug, and its market size is 13 billion. That's a big comparison. 130 billion to the largest drug, Lipitor, 13 billion. Another popular drug, Viagra, 2 billion. So that kind of gives you perspective on the market size for this type of product, and expected just to grow, 240 to 260 billion expected by the early 2030s. Again, worldwide, people are searching for the benefits that this can offer without the side effects. And wouldn't this be a great option for people to have first before turning to something more aggressive with potential side effects? Again, not against injections, but what if we had a safer option, right? That makes sense for a lot of people. Let me see here. Something else I was going to mention. Now I can't remember. So this is for you, possibly if you want to lose weight naturally, you want to avoid the synthetic injections, you want affordable GLP support. That's a big one. You suffer from food noise, want to switch from the shots to a natural solution. You want to maintain your weight loss. You want to keep your muscle. That's a good reason too, right? But depending on the lens you're looking through this, when I first saw this product, I saw it as a fat loss product, right? How many saw that as a fat loss product? Now we're realizing that this is not a fat loss supplement. And fat loss may not even be the most exciting benefit of this product when you really dig into the science. If you look, I did a presentation just a couple of weeks ago on longevity with this science, anti-aging with this science, looking at the antioxidant benefits and the gene regulation that we talked about, the anti-inflammatory benefits, the gut health benefits, the blood sugar benefits. If we can improve insulin resistance in people, we're going to help them live a longer life, right? And so, depending on what lens this look like, this supplement might be look to you like a gut health supplement, right? It could look like a blood sugar supplement. It could look like an anti-aging supplement, and it certainly could look like a fat loss supplement. But it's all of those things in one. And coming July 4th, in the U.S., Canada, Australia, UK, New Zealand first the Ignite powder. Okay, same technology in a powder that you can shake up and drink. Um, if this is something you're interested in, you're in those markets. This will be rolling out worldwide in early August, but coming out first in those markets, you have to get somebody's what they call an Ignite link. You have to pre-sign up to be available to purchase this when it launches come July 4th, the night of July 4th. And so if you're interested in grabbing this as soon as it launches, get with somebody who invited you to get their Ignite link so that you can order as early as possible. And so I just encourage you, one, if you have not experienced these drops in the upcoming powder, you need to, because I'm sure that everybody on here could use this technology, or they know somebody that desperately could that's close by, likely a family member or friend. We also have an amazing testimonial group. If you'd like to just check out what other people are experiencing in all of these areas of health and wellness, ask for an invite into the testimonial group. It's an amazing group. Um, and I think that I'm going to wrap that part up. And let's see here. I sure appreciate you guys joining us for this presentation. I hope it was valuable, and I'm excited to share again next time.